What's up? If you're a newcomer to this channel, please like, comment, and share this video. Don't be afraid to subscribe too. If you're already a part of the channel, please share the video content on this channel. If you want to know any of my social media information, I'll show them on the screen right now. You know my motto, I'm trying to save one relationship at a time and one mind at a time. I'm your host Marcus, and this is another episode of Marcus Speaks. Oh, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Happy New Year. And hope everybody did something safe for the new year. As y'all remember, in my last video of last year, I told y'all that I was going to be hitting y'all off with something true and something that's going to be fire and something that's going to be thought-provoking. So what I got ready for y'all today, and it's something that had me working on it for about 2 weeks now. I just finished today. Not the day that y'all gonna see, that not my normal load days, which is Saturday, but today's Wednesday, so I just finished or whatever, and I started 2 Wednesdays ago on this, and it's been a thought for about 4 months. So let's get into this. So look at y'all's title, and this is what it's going to be about. I have 3 full pages worth of information I'm going to be giving to y'all. 1 last page of some lasting information that I'm going to be giving y'all. I wrote 3 full pages on this topic. This is something that I've never done before, but I wanted to give y'all the best information possible, and hope y'all enjoy it. So, what is a pedophile? So, I took this directly from my DSM-5, and this is what the DSM-5 says. If you guys don't know what the DSM is, the DSM is basically the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Health, version 5. This is it's a purple book with white letters. You can get it if you guys want it. You guys can get this either online from Amazon, or you can go online or go straight into the bookstore of Barnes and Nobles and wherever else they sell books. I'm pretty sure you can get it damn near anywhere or whatever. But this is what I ripped directly from the DSM 5. So a pedophile is, over a period of at least 6 months, reoccurrent, instant sexually arousing fantasies, sexual urges, or behaviors involving sexual activity with a prepubescent child or children, generally age 13 or younger. So, basically, a pedophile will, have lustrous fantasies about children at the age of 13. But what I found that will counteract that, or counter that that statement, or what was written in the DSM-5, is that pedophiles don't want to be called pedophiles anymore. Pedophiles want to be called MAPS. And what MAPS stand for is minor attracted persons, as a sexual orientation, such as like lesbian, gay, transgender, stuff like that. So the MAPS have basically 4 terminologies for their for like what certain maps are attracted to. So the identities that they give themselves is basically, number 1, infantophile, a person attracted to infants, which is, I feel as though it's disgusting as fuck. But you see this stuff in the news. You see like people that get locked up and prosecuted for like killing infant girls and stuff like that, and infant boys, because they did something very egregious to them and they feel as though that it's fine or whatever. So another one that you have is pedophiles, a person attracted to prepubescent children. You have a hebophile, a person attracted to pubescent children. So basically a 13 to 14-year-old or whatever. So another one is a heptophile, a person attracted to post-pubescent children. So basically somebody that's attracted to like a 15, 16, 17-year-old or whatever. So also with these maps, people, they also have another group that coincides within them called no maps, which means non-offending minor attracted persons, which means they don't act on their attractions, pedophilic sexual orientations, which I'll get into that later. Basically, their argument is just because someone is attracted to children doesn't mean that they are automatically going to sexually abuse them, which I feel as though is bullshit, because if you have the fantasy of wanting to have a attraction to a child, then in my personal opinion you will sexually abuse that child. So or you know, or children or teenager or what have you, which I feel with the information that I collected is good information to have on you and to know and to go over. But a lot of it that I was reading of what comes out of a pedophile's mouth is a bunch of bullshit. Like, just either kill yourself or go to jail or whatever. So, number 2, which what I'm about to say coexists with the definitions of the diagnosis of the pedophile, which I found in the DSM-5, which is intense sexual interest in children, sexual urges or attractions of proficients of or for children are equal to someone with sexual urges or attractions or proficients for adults. Someone who has not acted on said impulses, diagnosis, or objective assessments or legal records offenses, their diagnosis would be pedophilic sexual orientation. So basically, since they haven't acted on, like I said, their attractions or arousals or urges to the children, that wherever that they see children, like, they're not actually offenders or whatever. But I'll get into that also later on in the video too. So, what haven't I looked at on this page? So, the reason for them to wanting to change their identity from which is a known diagnosis within the DSM-5, they don't want the toxicity of having that label on them. So basically, the reasoning of them wanting to be called either MAPS or no MAPS is because they don't want the connotation of the word pedophile attached to them. Like, really? Like, either word means pedophile. You actually have these idiots basically telling themselves that they're not sick. That's basically what they're saying. That they're not sick. That there's nothing wrong with them, and there's nothing wrong with the way that they think. Which I wish I had some clips, and I couldn't find this documentary / movie that I saw. This was probably like in November when I was researching this topic. It was like a 47-minute movie. It was about how it was basically about pedophile men that are fighting for their rights fighting for their right for them to be able to express free love with the orientation of what they like, which is children, which is disgusting. And I forgot what town that it was centered in, but it was a guy that was protesting for his rights. It was a couple other dudes that held meetings, and then it was a guy that basically would ride around when school would when children would be going to school, and when school would let out, when kids are going to like wherever that they were going, like either like at like a pizza parlor or like bowling or skating or something like that, he'll just walk up and talk to them or whatever. And as he's sitting there talking to him, he's basically getting aroused by the conversation that he's having with these little boys. And he basically, when he was talking to one of the teenage boys, he said something in the movie that basically was like, all the information that he gave me was something that he wanted to give me. Like, it was mine to have. Like, he wanted to know that his birthday was coming up. He wanted me to know that his favorite color was whatever and stuff like that. Like, he thought that the little boy was having a connection with him because the little boy didn't know any better, and he was just sharing stuff about himself so this sick individual would get off on it later on when he was at home. So yeah, like the documentary was heavy. It was 47 minutes. I had to pause it a few times to get my mind right. I had to take a couple shots so I could get through the shit, because like when you watch it and like it's something that y'all might feel as though that like is pretty odd for somebody to watch, but you gotta watch. Like, I have to watch certain things when I'm researching these topics that like normally I wouldn't look at, like just to look at. Like this, like everything that I watch, like this is the reason why it took me so long. It took me 2 weeks even to get like to this point to record this video, because I had to stop and like not watch some of this shit for at least a day or two, because like it's a lot of stuff coming at you at once, and it's very heavy to look at, and you gotta basically, since I'm writing notes down and getting information, I have to like be non-biased of the information that I'm getting. So like I said, I had a hard time researching this, so you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, bear with me. So anyway, pedophiles want a stake in the LGBTQ plus community with their own acceptance flag. The reason being is because of what I stated earlier with MAPS. It's because they feel as though that Love is blind, and love is age blind and gender blind, which is very strange for somebody to say, but they want their stake in the LGBTQ community. And I'm gonna go over an article later on in this video. I know I keep saying that about this information I'm giving y'all, but it's a lot of stuff that I gotta cover, and it's a lot of stuff I gotta get out of the way before I tell y'all certain things. Cause like it's certain groups that y'all may not know about. It's certain laws and bills that have been passed about certain things that y'all may not know about that I had to actually look up, cause I had nowhere to start at all. So pedophiles are attracted to male children and female children, if not both. So a pedophile can either be a gay pedophile or a heterosexual pedophile, or basically a bisexual pedophile. So he or she could find interests in boys or just girls, or both boys and girls, depending on his sexual or her sexual orientation of what he feels though is what he or she wants. So Maps and No Maps claim that they are misunderstood, marginalized people, such like the LGBT community, and deserve support. I don't think you do. Because why the fuck? Okay, so this is what I'll say. Why the fuck do you want support and laws passed for you to be able to sexually assault children? Like, there's no child in this world that I would think that wants to have a sexual relationship. And this is all about sex. It's not about love at all. It's not about love. Like, they don't want to love a child at all. They basically want to have sex with them and abuse them or whatever. Like, you can't. I feel like I'm sympathizing with these motherfuckers. Like, it's fucking gross. Alright? Like, you don't deserve support. You're not marginalized. You're not misunderstood. You're sick. That's what you are. You're sick. So, where was I before I went on my rant? Adult males with pedophilic disorder may indicate that they become aware of strong or preferential sexual interest in children around the time of puberty. So basically, when they're going through puberty, that's when they feel as though that they're having a sexual urge towards. So we go through puberty when, like 12, 13. So by 12, 13, they feel as though that they're attracted to children. So this is where I get confused about that, because you could be a 12, 13 year old growing up and you could like a girl that's like 10. So even though that's strange as fuck, but it's not uncommon. But I can see where the confusion comes with me because of the like the age, like not the age but the grade difference, because usually you're 10 or 11 in 5th grade. You're usually 12, 13 in 7th, and then you're 13, 14 in 8th grade. So the grade difference is like very far apart, but the age difference isn't. But that's only like that's where I get confused at, because you know a young boy could like, you know, a 13-year-old boy could like a 10-year-old girl in his neighborhood. Like, it's not uncommon sometimes, but if this is the research of what the DSM-5 has collected of when pedophiles feels though that when they become sexually attracted to children, then I can't go against that information. All right, so population prevalence of pedophilic disorder is unknown. The highest possible prevalence for pedophilic disorder in the male population is approximately 3 to 5%. The disorder in females is even more uncertain, but likely a small fraction of the prevalence in males. It's probably just as high within females, because naturally when the news covers females, they're usually teachers, and the young men that they have their sexual bouts with or relationships with, they're usually in their pubescent stages, so like usually between the ages of 13, 14, and 15. So as we remember, there was a teacher in 1997 that was locked up because of her dealings with a 13-year-old boy. There's been some over the years, but I haven't really paid attention, nor did I get that information, which I should have, to make my point more valid. But we all see that this happens often. Well, it comes out more with the female teachers. But when it comes to like male pedophiles, we normally never hear about it until they've assaulted or been caught, and they have at least like a few abuses under their belt that they've done. So usually with the teachers or females, it's usually around like 1 to 2 little boys. With the males, it's normally around like 4 to 5, maybe 6, if not more, before they get caught. So typical pedophiles are predators, and this is what they look for. And I got this from a video I watched of a college psychology professor. He basically went through like 3 points of like what pedophiles look for within like a child that they want to abuse. So they look for defeativeness in a child. So basically like a child that's probably having like a hard time at home, or parents may have just got divorced, or something like that. In need of a friend, so basically a child that is more of an introvert, that has a hard time making friends and stuff like that, and someone that will not object. So basically, if there's a child that has an upbringing that where whatever an adult tells you, you do. So basically, that's kind of the will not object part. So like if pedophiles in the park sees a child and they're alone and they're like, "Hey, come with me. I have some candy." Well, if the child hasn't been taught to not talk to strangers and what have you, then the candy thing, the child will be abducted, and then that's when the abuse takes place. So, extensive use of pornography depicted prepubescent children is a useful indicator of pedophilic disorder. In general cases, that individuals are likely to choose the kind of pornographic videos that correspond to their sexual interests. So basically, like, the little schoolgirl shit ain't cool. Like the little schoolgirl shit, which I did some research on pornographic videos, and the top things that are like that, I guess that the porn industry is banking off of is like incest videos, interracial videos, and like scenarios of like little boys or little girls being with like older women or older men. So that's like, those are like the three top videos that's pushing the porn industry forward or whatever, which it's not cool at all. But still, what I didn't go over, which I skipped past real fast, is the second part to the last thing that I said was of the what they look for. So what they don't look for is assertiveness. So a child that's aware of who they are. A child that is typically noisy or loud. So like a very loud or noisy child that will cause a scene if they try to abduct. And a hyper child, which a child is very hard to control. So that's what they look for. That's what they don't look for. I was looking at a video, and I don't know if like this point will make any sense or not, but there are pedophilic signs. So there are certain signs, and I'm gonna try before. So as y'all watching this video, if y'all don't get to see these signs on the video or whatever, I'm sorry, but I'll try to insert them. So there are like 3 signs, like 3 to 4 signs of like what pedophiles are about, or like what they like or something like that. The ones that I've saw so far is it's like one of those like circles that just keep going. A heart inside of a heart. And then there's another one that I can't think off the top of my head what it looks like. But like I said, if I can't insert the picture, these pictures or signs into the video, I'm sorry in advance. But yeah, it's like, but like I said with my videos, I also encourage you guys to look this information up yourselves. So if I don't get to put these up, make sure you guys look them up. But it's certain signs that you have to look for and stuff like that. I don't know where they would use these signs at, like, or what they use them on, but the heart inside of the heart, a mother found it on a toy, and she called the toy company up and told the toy company that said picture or sign is a pedophilic sign for I think it's like females who love little girls or something like that, or it's something like that. It's something strange like that. But like I said, look this up so y'all don't I don't seem as though that I'm wrong. Alright, so pedophiles also say, like the LGBTQ community, that they were born that way. How? Now, I know that there are certain sicknesses that certain people are diagnosed or born with. So, what I say with that is it's full of shit. As I've been saying this whole time, that they're sick, they need help. Somebody needs to try to do something about this shit. It's scary as hell. It's scary as fuck that they think this way. Now, why they think this way, I don't know. Because I only got the information that I could get. I did not want to pick through a pedophile's brain at all. But it's scary as hell to know that these people think this way. Like, it's like I can't even take how they feel as though that it's okay to want to be with children. Like, it's strange as hell. Like, it's strange as fuck. I don't get it. Alright. California teacher teaches pedophilia as just another orientation. The teacher argues after a concerned parent asks why was she teaching such a thing. And the teacher says because she wants to teach the different sexual orientations in history in a historical sense. So basically, I'm guessing the teacher was probably trying to teach kids about, like, in certain cultures that certain things were acceptable, such as in the Greco-Roman culture, how when soldiers will go to war, they would have at least like 4 to 5 little boys with them during battle. Like before, like they would win a battle, they would celebrate, and most of those celebrations was, sodomizing little boys. Such as, in certain cases, how in Greek and Roman culture, how gay and lesbianism was okay. So, like, I understand the teacher's argument, but that's not needed when you're trying to teach a child about certain cultures. Leave that part out. But as they say, as California goes, so does the rest of the country. Because a lot of things start in California, then they make their way through the country. So, transgender woman Tatiana Mala Nina, formerly known as Albert Garza, 32 years old, jailed after group finds out that he was a sex offender of children and molested a 8-year-old child. The trans woman held a drag queen story time in a public library. Here's the picture of that person, of what he looks like in drag. I didn't get the picture of what he looked like as a regular dude, but yeah, this person would basically hold a drag queen story time at a public library. It's either in Texas or in New York, and his words were when he would read the stories is, Who wants to be a drag queen when they grow up? Yeah. And if you look this story up, it's on YouTube. It's online. You can go to Google or wherever you search. This fool actually was asking little kids with their parents around, who wants to be a drag queen? What is this, America's Next Top Model? Like what the fuck is this guy? And I'm glad that group found out, whoever that group was. Thank you for that. How they found that information out is spectacular, and at the same time, they saved a lot of kids' lives. Because after you basically infiltrate yourself into certain places, you basically can make your way into certain people's lives too. Which I want to bring up a point with this drag queen stuff. There's a little kid. His name's Desmond something. His stage name is Desmond is Amazing. He's been on countless talk shows, such as either the Today Show or something like that. He paraded himself in the LGBT gay pride parade, and there's also countless videos of this little boy being around drag queens that are, some of them are known, well, drag queens and males, and I don't know if they're gay males or not, but that, and the one video was shocking because he's sitting there with these two guys, and this one guy is an artist, and he basically paints these odd drawings of little kids, and he puts like in hyphenations the date rape drug Rohypnol, and the kid seems a little like he's on drugs when he's doing that interview. Not only did the little kid seem as though that he was on drugs in that little video or interview, he's on a video with a drag queen that's talking about doing drugs, and when that drag queen says whatever the drug is, I think it was like poppers or something, the little kid takes his arm and goes like this, as if he knows what the fuck like the person's talking about. Like it's strange as fuck. Like I said, I had to walk away from some of this stuff, and I had to not look at it for a couple days, because this is the type of information you find when you're looking up information like this. And you talking about a person that was shocked. I was shocked as fuck. I didn't know what the fuck to do. And to add insult to injury, his parents are very accepting to this. So smoke them if you got them. So whatever. Where am I at? Platforms such as YouTube, social media, and movies give these people access to their desires. So please watch your kids on these platforms, such as, all social media, so Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever else one is out there, Kick or whatever the hell it's called. And there's a whole bunch of movies that they can watch that have little kids in them. So, and what was I saying? YouTube has YouTube Kids. It's like free for all. Here's some websites and apps to help you further your knowledge on who's around you and who's a sex offender. Now, this is key. I want y'all to pay attention to this. So you have www.nsopw.gov. You can use background check, which is an app and it's a website. Then I'm gonna list off 3 apps. You have Offender Locator, Sex Offender Search, and Radiaris Sex Offender. Radiaris is basically RADARIS, sex offenders. So basically when you go onto these apps or these websites, not so much with background check because you have to search somebody's name in order to do that. But when you go on to the NSOPW website and the 3 apps I listed off, your neighborhood's gonna light up like a Christmas tree because you're gonna see where every single person lives at. And normally they just need addresses to show proof of address. Sometimes they don't live in these addresses that you that are around you. But when I did the search on my neighborhood, wow, there are a lot of sex offenders in my neighborhood that I did not know about. It's strange. Documentaries to help you better understand the sick natures. You have Conspiracy of Silence, The Boy Business, Surviving R. Kelly, which is more so about R. Kelly's stuff. I was gonna put Leaving Neverland, but we all know that Michael Jackson is a pedophile, so I didn't bother. Abducted in Plain Sight, which you can see on Netflix, and 60 Minutes, exposing Jeffrey Epstein's international sex trafficking ring. Because as we all know, that Jeffrey Epstein had a sex ring, and not only did he have a sex ring, in that sex ring he had children performing lewd acts that he basically captured, you can say. And he would have his clients do what they wanted with him. So, and these last 4 is something that, as a parent, if your child has any sort of gaming console, I want y'all to pay close attention and know who all of their online friends are on these consoles, because it's easy for these men to access your children on these games. But I only listed 4 popular games that could be it could be a place where that these pedophiles are at, maybe. But it's countless other online games that they could be on. But most of the time, when pedophiles are out, I think they're not supposed to be online. So, but just in case, because you also got the non-offenders that I talked about. So, just in case, here's some games that they could be on. You have Minecraft, you have Fortnite, you have Overwatch, and Warframe, etc. So again, that's Minecraft, the game Fortnite, which is very popular amongst teenagers and certain adults. You have Overwatch and you have Warframe. So please, if you have a child and you bought them a console, please be careful of what they do on there, because it could be a rude awakening one day. Alright, it's common or likely for people who was sexually abused as a child to be perpetrators of abuse. So basically, if they were abused as a child, it could be a chance that they could abuse children or or as an adult abuse their spouse or whomever when they get older. It's a possibility, but it's not set in stone. So don't take my word on that, but do your research. They should have some sort of some sort of stat on it. So please look it up. Sexual orientation is something we don't understand and cannot comprehend. I wrote that in there for this because we don't really know a lot of information when it comes to sexual orientation. All we know is that man likes woman, woman likes man. It's that simple to us, but we gotta understand because we have all these other orientations out there, such as like pedophilia, the people who have sex with animals, shit like that. Psychologists asked, and this is for the most case, psychologists asked pedophiles to suppress their impulses or will prescribe medication that suppresses their impulses or urges. That's not cool. I don't think that psychologists should tell their pedophile clients to suppress their urges, because they could act on their impulses or urges at any point in time. So I don't think that's something that they should do. But some good news is psychologists must report patients that tell them that they have sexual urges towards children or may think that they are starting to develop sexual urges towards children, which is a good thing because they do have to report that stuff right away. And also, where did I write that part at? Bear with me. Okay, most pedophiles don't seek help or just bury their neediness to get help due to further legal consequences in their lives. So basically, when a psychologist hears from her patient or his patient that they may be developing these sexual urges towards children or impulses towards children or being attracted to children, they basically have to put you in a data bank. They have to call the police. They have to give your name, your address, and stuff like that, so that you can be put in a database. And then I think you get put on the sex offenders list, and then you have to go door to door and tell everyone that you're a sex offender. So I think that's the reason why most pedophiles that don't get locked up don't seek help, because they know that that's what happened to them. So pedophiles are powerless, and to make them feel powerful, sex with a child makes them feel dominant, secure, and competent, which is strange within itself. They will say that the child wanted it, or you can't prove that having sex with children is wrong. Motherfucker, it's wrong. But they will say that though. With certain documentaries I had to watch, it was a lot of them that was saying that it's not wrong, or like I don't feel as though that it's wrong and stuff like that, or yeah, they would say also that the child wanted it. So that's pretty scary and strange within itself, and that's something that parents should try to figure out and try to create groups to help them combat these individuals. To piggyback off of 2 points I made earlier, pedophiles are attracted to what they have lost as a child, which is innocence. If they've been abused, which is most likely all pedophiles have been abused at some point in their lives. By being with a child, they reconnect with the child's innocence, of which they will take in the long run from the child, from the children they abuse. Thus, the cycle of pain continues and often makes more pain givers, which is pedophiles. Most times, people or children connect with their abusers, and the term for that is Stockholm Syndrome, which the definition is feelings of trust, of affection, felt in certain cases of kidnapping or hostage taking by a victim towards a captor. So most of the time, if people have been abused for a long time, then that happens. So it's sad that happens, and we see sometimes that does happen, and I feel sorry, and I'd send out my prayers for people who that has happened to, and I feel sorry that has happened to you, and tomorrow's another day, so don't act in any type of way that would destroy yourself or your family. So, like I said, my condolences go out to you, and my feelings go out to you. Alright, I got this long, extensive thing that I have to tell y'all about, and please bear with me. Alright, so in 2013, the WorldNet Daily article went on the report that laws that were being introduced at the time for gay rights could also pave the way for pedophilia rights. The language is so broad and vague, it arguably could include all forms of sexual orientations, including pedophilia. It's not just the orientation that is protected, that conduct associated with the orientation is protected as well. Brad Dacre says. WND reported that a group of mental health professionals created a B4U Act in 2003 to help mental health professionals learn more about attractions to minors and consider the effects of stereotyping, stigma, and fear. The B4U Act basically states in 4 to 5 points that to publicly promote professional services and resources for self-identified individuals, adults, and adolescents who are to educate mental health providers regarding approaches needed in understanding and responding to individuals such as adults and adolescents who are sexually attracted to children and who either seek or are referred for services regarding issues identified by such persons or by those referring them from services. 3. To develop a pool of healthcare providers who agree to serve individuals, adults, and adolescents who are sexually attracted to children, utilizing the therapeutic approaches advocated by the organization. To educate the public regarding issues faced by individuals, adult and adolescents who are sexually attracted to children. To undertake other projects, programs, and activities as the need to do so presents itself. Sorry. So basically, the act basically states that they want to further the knowledge of what the hell pedophilia all includes, and basically give people help, either medical or psychological help, to help them not do whatever that they do or whatever. And there was also an act which in 2007, the Creeper Act, which also states curbing realistic exploitative electronic pedophilic robots act. Basically, how can I put this? So Amazon, Wish, and what other companies were selling child-size sex dolls. So when the law passed or was happening, Congress basically Congress went ahead to tell these businesses that you can't sell these products anymore because it helps pedophiles to increase their urges towards children. And let me read some stuff off the so the act basically is there is a correlation between possession of the obscene dolls and robots and possession of the participation in child pornography. So basically, like within the bill, it's the physical features and potentially the personalities of the robots are customizable or morphable and can be resemble actual children. So basically, within my mindset, Congress basically makes laws that help in the present day and also within the future. So as we all know that there's other companies that make life-size adult sex dolls that look real and you can change hair and stuff like that. So basically, other companies were making these childlike dolls that also you could change hair, features, and whatever. So, the robots can have settings that simulate rape. The dolls and robots not only lead to rape, but they make rape easier by teaching the rapist about how to overcome resistance and subdue their victims. For users and children exposed to their use, the dolls and robots normalize submissiveness and normalize sex between adults and minors. The dolls and robots are intrinsically related to abuse of minors, and they cause the exploitation, objectification, abuse, and rape of minors. As the Supreme Court has recognized, obscene material is often used as part of a method of seducing child victims. Basically, child sex dolls with robotic faces can show fear and sadness, while, like, if they program it to where it can do that, then the pedophile can basically have it to where when it does happen, or whenever he does whatever he does to the doll, he basically gets a sense of what could happen if he goes with a real child, which is very, very fucked up and sad. Let's put our attention on this group right here. Let me show this logo. This logo is basically the logo of NAMBLA. If you don't know what NAMBLA is, it's been featured on certain TV shows such as South Park and what have you. The episode of South Park, Cartman basically joined NAMBLA with him not knowing what the hell it was about. And basically, it's a group of men who love boys. I'll give you all what it stands for. Alright. So, let me just read what I have written down. And so, let's point our attention to the group. It has been around since December 1978. The founder, David Thorstad, established NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association. It's a pedophile and pederasty activism group located in cities of New York and San Francisco. In 1977, article "Men Loving Boys, Loving Men" set the stage for the founding of the group. So basically, the David Thorstad dude read that article, basically got the idea of NAMBLA. So, and NAMBLA's been around since 1978. So, where was I? Police raided a house in Boston, in a Boston suburb, and arrested 24 men and indicted them on 100 felony counts of statutory rape of boys ages from age 8 to age 15. Also, the men were a part of a sex ring. District Attorney Garrett H. Byrne found the men had drugs and video games to lure the boys into the house, where they would take pictures of their sexual activities with them. That's fucking strange as hell. Like, I don't understand what these nasty motherfuckers get into, but that's why when we have to watch our kids and who they're around and who basically like they interact with, such as teachers too, because teachers aren't exempt from any of this too, because yeah, the teacher can come off as, you know, a nice person, understanding, stuff like that, but you don't know if they have that type of sickness with them. So what you have to do, go through all of those, rewind this video back and go to the part where I'm talking about the background check, NSOPW, offender locator, sex offender search, and radar sex offender. Look these people up before you let somebody teach your child or in your neighborhood, period, because you don't know who the hell is around you, and you don't know what your child is around while they're at school. And what you may not know is if there's any teachers in schools, it's none of your business what their sexual orientation is. Even if, you know, they project themselves, well, you can see them in a manner of where they project themselves, either if they're lesbian, gay, transgender, or queer. So, it's none of your business. That's what the law states, I guess, for them. But yeah, man. Also with the whole bathroom thing, where transgender men can go into the men's room, transgender female can go into the female bathroom now. So it's a slippery slope that we living on, y'all, and it's something that we gotta really pay attention to and get some sort of sense of understanding of what the hell we're around and what the hell what's around us, because you never know what's going on when you're not around your child. Even though that all kids now, or most kids now, stay in the house and play video games or surf the internet, but there's dangers on there too. So you have to basically be in some sort of you got to know like what's around you and what's going on. So the last thing I'm gonna bring up today is, it's a debunked story, but it has to do with what I'm talking about. So, a debunked story back in 2016 during the presidential race called Pizzagate hit the airways, and big names were attached to it in the presidential race and some entertainers. The restaurant involved was attacked by a North Carolina man because of the conspiracy. But although conspiracy was debunked, some still think the story is true. Also, remember Jerry Sandusky and Jeffrey Sandusky, which is Jerry Sandusky's son. Which, if you remember, he was the coach of a Pennsylvania football team. I think it was a college team. I can't remember, or high school. That was Jerry Sandusky that got convicted of sex offenses against children, and I think a year later, if not a few months later, his son Jeffrey Sandusky was prosecuted and jailed for his sex abuse crimes against his wife's daughter, so his stepdaughter. So yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all today. Like I said, I had a lot of information to give y'all today. I thought I was going to be here for 2 hours. I got it done within an hour. So I thank y'all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And please tell somebody. Again, I would like to thank all the people that has saw the past couple videos and put their stamp of approval by either commenting or liking. I thank y'all for that. And also I like to thank everybody that has came to the channel recently and has subscribed. And also please follow my social medias that you'll see towards the end of the video. And that's it. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Thanks for watching. And this has been Marcus Speaks. And thank you again for watching.